Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today we're going to be starting the process of installing a new background in one of those big 2.4 enclosures. So on one of the earlier episodes was the background with the blotches. That one I did myself. This one today, and for the other enclosure I haven't done, Matt from MH Custom Enclosures has done it. He's done a whole bunch of enclosure backgrounds for us before. He's done hides, he does enclosures himself, and he does an absolutely fantastic job. So I got him to whip up two massive backgrounds for the other two, just to make my life a little bit easier. And the one that we're going to start today is going into Rusty's current enclosure. So Rusty is our big scrub python, arguably Australia's largest python species. And these guys will get up around about 10 to 13 feet, I think is the average, somewhere in that vicinity. And they're found in Australia and also New Guinea, so right up in the tropics of northern Queensland for us. And they like that humid environment. They like a lot of climbing, which unfortunately he doesn't have at the moment, but he does have the 2.4 space to really stretch out. This will give him some more sort of stimulation to go over, climb over, put some plants in there and stuff like that, and eventually he's going to be going into a big outdoor aviary. So this is the next step. So we're going to get that started today and get the ball rolling. And if you can hear that scratching in the background, those two enclosures that were behind me, they house our two parenti. This is Spot. This one's the mellow of the two, I would say. Pretty chilled out, likes to come out and have a wander around. He's been on our stories a few times. We've also got Arlo. If you're wondering where those names came from, they came from The Good Dinosaur. Grace named them. If you've seen that movie, it would make a lot more sense. But fantastic lizards, Australia's largest monitor. These guys are going to get absolutely massive. They're only around about 6 months old at the moment, so we're putting in a lot of work, a lot of training with them. But that scratching gets old very fast. They'll go up and down scratching, and then they'll do it on the walls. They'll walk through their water bowls and they'll scratch a whole bunch of mud everywhere. But we love them, and they're doing awesome. And these are the two backgrounds, so you can see a clear difference between the darker one and the lighter ones. This lighter one's going to be more of an outback sort of style. Not really sure how I'm going to use that for yet, but the darker one we're going to be using today to install, that's going to be more of a sort of tropical rainforest, sort of like a darker look to it. I mean, really, you could use either of them, but yeah, we're going to go with the darker one for this this enclosure today. And they come in 6 pieces each, so we're going to stack 3 on top on one side of the enclosure and then 3 on top with the other side of the enclosure. And this is our main man. His name's Vegas, German Shepherd obviously, but his ears never came up. They've always been floppy, so might have fooled you. You might not have known that it was a German Shepherd because of those ears, but he's a lovely boy. He's, I think he's about 5-6 years old now, barks at absolutely everything, but when it comes to, you know, a good all-rounder family dog in terms of size, security, nature, he's an absolutely beautiful boy, and we love him. And this is our other one. This one's Ada. So Ada is the older of the two dogs. And believe it or not, she's a Great Dane, or she was sold as a Great Dane. She might have lied on the resume because she's a bit on the small side. But she's got an absolutely amazing nature. Beautiful dog. And yeah, I mean, she's basically a cat. You know, very silent, very chilled. This is what she does most of the day. You can see it's like a koala. She sleeps, I think, roughly 22 hours a day, somewhere in that vicinity. But nevertheless, beautiful dog, aren't you? Here is a big fella out and about now. I would say that he's probably sitting around about 7 to 8 feet, so still plenty of room to grow, and he's only a couple of years old as well. Pretty mellow by nature. Never really had any dramas with him, but how good's that pattern on him? Real pixelated pattern, beautiful iridescence in the sun as well, and he's got a pretty good nature, which is cool, because if you get nailed by one of these guys, it's going to hurt. All cleared out and down to the bare bones. So this is the enclosure, how it looks with nothing in it. This is built by Ian at Sydney Reptiles. Absolutely nailed it. He nails everything he touches. So if you need any enclosures, definitely be hitting him up. This is F10'd from top to bottom. That's what all those streaks are. So I'm going to give this a bit of time to dry out before we get into the background. But if anyone hasn't seen inside these enclosures, it's got a source down there for either heat or UVB, and then another 2 up this end, which I use for the UVB and the heat. I'm going to put in some sort of a light down there so it's not super dark, but I don't really need UVB or heat down that end, but I'll figure something else out. But yeah, we'll let this dry and then we'll get into stacking these backgrounds. Backgrounds are now in their positions. I haven't glued them in yet because if I've learned anything about doing this kind of stuff, you want to make sure it fits properly before you start throwing adhesive everywhere. So this side's in, that side's in, and it looks absolutely unreal. In my opinion, I think he's done a really good job of this, and he's nailed the sizes, which makes my life a lot easier. So you can see down this end, we've got a built-in hide down the bottom there. I will put in another hide, being that one there. That was his hide that was already in there, and the colors actually match really well, so that'll be good. And then down this side, no hide, but you've got these different ledges and different levels that he can go up on, which is really good. It's not going to be his forever home. Like I said, so I don't know what we'll put in here next, but it's pretty versatile. I'm going to put a whole bunch of greenery in here, but I think it looks really good, and I'm actually really keen to get the other background in, but that will be a job for another day. So now the fun part, we get to start decorating. This is the first plant that I put in a position. I haven't siliconed it in yet because I want to do all of them first to make sure I'm happy with their positions before they become permanent. This I'm thinking, just because it's the biggest out of all the plants that I've got, that's going to hide that centerpiece down the middle, make it flow a little bit better from right to left, left to right, whatever you want to say. And then the rest of them, like the white leaf build, I've still got a whole heap of stuff left over. These fake vines, I totally forgot that I even got. And then plus a heap of other greenery, which is going to work perfect with this sort of tropical forest look that I'm going for. So I'm going to play around with it and see what we come up with. Let this sit overnight. I put the adhesive on the background. That's rock solid now. It's not going anywhere, and I've started adding in the plants. I think we're going to leave it at this point because I don't want to overcrowd it. Sometimes I get carried away with the greenery, but I think it's looking pretty good. I'll put the second hide down here. It actually fits really well underneath that rock ledge, so that'll give him a hide down this end, down the cool end, and then he's got that one down that end at the hot end. And given that he's a large snake, even though he's not going to be in here forever, for now, this is going to be enough to sort of give him that stimulation. It looks good, and it's not going to be overcrowded, so it still will give him plenty of floor space down the bottom here to stretch out. But I think it looks pretty good overall. So now what we're going to do, that I'm happy with the position of these plants, we're going to drill the holes, put them into the rock work, and then use a clear silicone to make sure that they don't move, because he is the heavy snake. So as soon as he goes on top of this stuff, if it's not secure, then he's going to rip it out of the wall. Day three or four, something like that, guys. But anyway, the substrate is in. Everything is glued into its position, and I think it looks sick the way that it's turned out. So all of the plants are good to go. I've given them a good pull, and they all seem to be nice and stuck, which is good. He's got the dark end down here, Plenty of space for him to curl up in that corner if he wants, but then again, he's still got all the different ledges, and he's got his main hide down this end, which I dare say he'll spend most of his time in. There is this hide over here. However, it's quite a small hide, but in saying that, you know, snakes get into all sorts of places you wouldn't think they would. Down here, I've got the slate tiles. So I had a few slate tiles laying around from some old enclosures. And the reason why I like these is because it's directly underneath the heat globe. So these will heat up nice and warm for him, give him that belly heat, but then also the heat from above. You probably get a bit of heat up on this ledge here too. If he wants to sit up there, he can sort of pick and choose. But I think it looks unreal. Really happy with how it turned out. It's going to be quite high humidity because of the Yuki mulch in there, which is fine for him. It will dry out over time, and then you just give it a bit of a respray. But for now, I'm going to give it another 24 hours, let it air out. But I'm really happy with how this one's come together. I think it looks good. So this is Rusty. This is a big boy. He's a scrub python. And I would say at the moment he's probably around about 7 to 8 feet. So these guys have over 100 teeth. Oh!
What happened? Mommy?
Yeah.
What happened to Slater?
So as I was saying, they've got over 100 teeth, which do some nasty damage. As you can see on the bottom of my foot there. And funny enough, I was actually going to say that this guy's pretty placid and he hasn't bitten me before. So there you go. That's a that's the first. Maybe my feet smell like chicken or smell like a rat or something like that. But yeah, generally this guy's pretty placid by nature. Not too much drama. Pretty easy to handle. You can see now, like, you know, he might have been a little bit spooked then, but now he's settled down. He's pretty mellowed out. Pretty easy to handle. He's getting some thickness to him as well. He's just over 3 years old, so he's still got plenty of growing left to do. But yeah, beautiful snake, beautiful pixelated pattern, as you can see through there, and a bit of iridescence in the sun as well when you get the right angle and the right light.
Well, Mommy, what happened to be so...
Poor little fella got a little bit spooked, I guess. But he's in the enclosure now, and I'm going to give him a little bit of time to settle in, but he looks really good in there. Very happy with how it's come out. He's got plenty of space to stretch out, and hopefully he enjoys the new setup. Hey? Still best of mates, so I still love him. And that is it, guys, for another episode. Thanks for coming along for the ride, and I hope you enjoyed this one. It was a fun thing to put together, and I hope that that he thrives in it and enjoys it in the time whilst he's in there. And I hope you enjoyed the bonus footage of me getting bit on the foot. That was like completely out of left field. He's never struck, never bit, never nothing. So, but we learn from these mistakes and we don't do them again. That's the main thing. So anyway, appreciate you guys, and we will catch you on the next one.